Last episode we installed Filament and logged in. This is what we've got. And it says Filament, it's amber, and the content is squeezed into a narrow column. By the end of this episode it'll say Project Flow. It'll be indigo, it'll fill the screen, and navigating it won't reload the page. But this episode isn't really about making it pretty. It's about the one file that controls your entire admin application. If you understand this file, nothing in Filament will surprise you later. Let's open it. First, the concept. A panel in Filament is one complete admin application. Its own URL prefix, its own login, its own navigation, its own set of resources, pages and widgets, and its own theme. The key word is one. You can have several. A classic setup is in /adminPanel for your staff and /apppanel for your customers. Completely different resources, completely different look, same Laravel app. We'll actually build that second panel in episode 17 when we do multi-tenancy. And notice how a panel is defined. It's a service provider. Look at the class declaration. That's a deliberate choice. Because it's a service provider, it boots with your application, it's registered in bootstrap/providers.php, and you have the full service container available inside it. And because the panel method takes a $panel and returns a $panel, the whole thing is a fluent chain. Every configuration option is a method you chain on. So the mental model for this file is a long list of chain decisions about one admin application. Let's read them. -default marks this as the fallback panel. When some code asks Filament, which panel, and there's no obvious answer, this is the one it picks. With a single panel, it's irrelevant. The moment you add a second, exactly one of them should have this. -ID, admin, is the internal name. You'll use it in code, Filament, get panel, admin, and more importantly, it's how you'll write, is this user allowed in this panel logic in episode 16. It also namespaces the panel's routes. -path, admin, is the URL prefix. Change it to -path, control, and your panel lives at /control. Set it to an empty string, and the panel takes over the root of your site, which is exactly what you'd do if the admin panel is the product. -login switches on the built-in login page. Take this line out, and there's no login route at all. There are siblings, -registration, -password reset, -email verification, -profile, and we'll turn several of those on in episode 16. Now let's make it ours. Straight after -login. Save, refresh the browser. The sidebar header and the browser tab title both change. One line, two places. That's the brand name, and it's used in the sidebar, the page title, and the login page. If you have a logo instead of text, you'd use -brand logo, asset, images/logo.svg, and -brand logo height, 2rem. You can even pass a blade view for a logo that changes in dark mode. And -favicon, asset, images/favicon.png, handles the tab icon. I'll leave those commented in the repo. We don't have artwork yet. Now colors, which is where Filament gets genuinely clever. Stop and appreciate what just happened. You did not write CSS. You did not rebuild Tailwind. Filament has semantic color slots: primary, danger, success, warning, info, gray, and every component references the slot, never a raw color. Swap the slot, the whole panel follows. Color. Indigo is a constant from Filament /support/colors/color. It's a full 50, to 950 shade ramp, not one hex value, which is why hover states and dark modes still look right. If you need a brand color that isn't in the list, you pass a hex and Filament generates the ramp for you. One caution: danger really should stay reddish and success greenish, because users read color before they read text. I've swapped red for rose and green for emerald. Same meaning, slightly softer. Don't make danger blue to be quirky. Last branding option worth knowing: -font poppins. Filament ships with inter bundled locally. Passing a font name pulls it from Bunny Fonts, a privacy-friendly Google Fonts mirror, at runtime. I'm leaving on the default enter, so this project works offline, but it's one line if you want it. 3 lines that change how the panel feels. You'll need the import for that width. Max content width. By default, Filament constrains content to a readable column, which is right for forms and wrong for wide data tables. Width. Fully uses the whole viewport. It's an enum, so your editor lists the options: small through 7 extra large, plus full. We're building a project management tool with a lot of columns, so full width it is. Sidebar collapsible on desktop gives users that collapse toggle, and Filament remembers their choice. There's also sidebar fully collapsible on desktop, which hides it completely rather than shrinking to icons. And if you'd rather have a horizontal menu bar than a sidebar, -top navigation flips the whole layout. Try it once. It's a genuinely different product feel. Now -spa, and this one deserves proper explanation because people enable it and then get confused. SPA mode means Filament intercepts internal link clicks and swaps the page content over the wire instead of doing a full browser navigation. You get a progress bar, no white flash, and your JavaScript state survives. It's Livewire's wire. Navigate under the hood. The catch: because the page never fully reloads, any third-party script that only runs once on DOM content loaded will stop working after the first navigation. If you drop an analytics snippet or a chat widget into your panel and it goes quiet, this is why. The escape hatch is -spa URL exceptions to opt specific URLs out. For a panel that's pure Filament, which ours is, leave SPA on. It feels much better. Unsaved changes alerts. Start editing a project. Don't save. Click away, and Filament stops you with "Are you sure?" It knows the form is dirty because the form state lives on the server. 2 seconds of work, and it prevents the single most common piece of user rage in any admin panel. Database transactions is the one I'd argue is the most valuable line in this file. It wraps every create, edit, and delete in a database transaction. Why does that matter? Think about saving a project that also syncs tags and creates an audit log entry. If the tag sync throws halfway through, without a transaction, you're left with a project that half-saved. With this line, the whole thing rolls back, and the user sees an error instead of silent corruption. The one caveat from the docs: if an action of yours intentionally catches an exception and carries on, a transaction can make that awkward. You can opt individual actions out. For 99% of panels, turn it on and sleep better. This block is why Filament feels magic, and it's completely mundane once you see it. discoverResources says, scan this directory, and auto-register every resource class you find there. That's it. Next episode we'll run make Filament resource project. It'll land in app/Filament resources, and it will appear in the sidebar with working routes without us registering anything. Not magic, a directory scan. Same for pages and widgets. And notice each discover call is paired with an explicit array, dash, pages, dashboard, class. That's for classes that live outside the scan directory, like Filament's own dashboard, which ships inside the vendor folder. Those two widgets, account widget and filament info widget, are the two cards on your dashboard. When we build real widgets in episode 14, the first thing we'll do is delete these two from this array. One production note: directory scanning costs a little time on every request. In episode 20, we run PHP artisan filament optimize, which caches the discovery results. Never run it in development. You'll wonder why your new resource doesn't show up. Well, arrays and the difference matters. Middleware runs on every panel request, including the login page. It's the standard Laravel web stack, cookies, session, CSRF protection, route model binding, plus 2 filament-specific entries. Note: prevent request forgery. That's Laravel 13's new name for verify CSRF token. Auth middleware runs only on requests that require a logged-in user. The login page is deliberately excluded, otherwise you could never reach it. So, global concerns go in the first array, must be signed and concerns go in the second. When we add tenancy in episode 17, Filament adds its tenant-checking middleware to the second one, because checking which team you're in only makes sense once we know who you are. Recap: a panel is one complete admin app, defined as a fluent chain in a service provider. You branded it, recolored it with semantic color slots, made it full width, made the sidebar collapsible, turned on SBA navigation, protected users from losing work, and protected your data with transactions. And you know that discoverResources is just a directory scan, which sets up episode 3 perfectly, because next we create our first resource. We design the project flow database, generate a project resource with one command, and get a complete create, read, update, delete interface with search, sorting, soft deletes, and pagination in about 60 seconds. Then we spend the rest of the episode understanding exactly what got generated. See you there.